Hey friends, today's video I'm going to be doing a quick check-in of how my October is doing. Spoiler alert, it's not great, but I will quickly check in with how it's doing, filming this at the end of October, looking at my Poshmark versus eBay, kind of where my sales are coming from, and then looking at my top brands that made me money for the month of October. Now I realize you guys are probably watching this a few weeks after I'm filming it because you know life and it takes me time to get it uploaded. However, it's still very relevant in what's going on right now today. Let me know how your Q4 is panning out. So first I want to check if you guys are new to the channel. This is the Sarah Style Sales and Trends dashboard. It's just a Google spreadsheet where I track my inventory, update my inventory, and then I have analytics around it. It is for purchase, so if you want a one-time fee, down below I think there's a coupon code as well. If you want to see charts, graphs, analytics for your information as well, you would have that. So what I'm looking at is my rolling 28-day comparison. Now, if you guys watched my video a couple weeks ago, I went in depth into this and really what's going on. So make sure to check that video out. Just quickly want to show you what's going on in October. Like I said, I'm filming this towards the end of October. I am down month over month, 28 days over 28 days. I've sold less items. My average sale price is higher, but as I mentioned in the video a couple weeks ago, this is strictly because of what's selling right now. Women's fashion, you're talking boots, you're talking jackets, you're talking sweaters. Those simply just sell for more money. It's not anything that I'm doing. And if you take a look at, we'll scroll down to this chart. If you take a look at this chart, you can see that it's a steady decline in my average sale price. If you look at my average profit here from 2 years ago, I was at $30 in profit, and now I'm down to 23, right? So not anything that I'm doing. Lots going on in the market. Like I said, I talked about that in my video a couple weeks ago. I linked it up above. It's down in the comments down below as well. Listed items, 186 less items listed. Now, my video that I just put out, my most recent video, besides this one, obviously, I go in depth into what's going on here, why I'm listing less items. As many resellers would have you believe, I'm listing less items, so I'm making less sales. That's simply not true. I'm going to show you here, but really take a look at my video that I just did because I go into depth. This is strategic. I am strategically listing less items. You can take a look here. Or let's look at this chart here. You can see a steady decline in my gross revenue, right? So the lines we're looking at are 13-month rolling compared to the previous. So the two lines that you're looking at are my gross revenue for basically the past 2 years. And you can see there's obviously a couple outliers. Last October was really good. I tried to do lives. My average profit was trash. But it did improve my gross revenue. But you can see definitely a steady decline in my gross revenue. And I have been listing between 8 and 12 items every single day for the past 2 years. So it is not because I'm not listing items that I'm not making sales. There's a lot more that's going into it. Like I said, I mentioned it in my last 2 videos for sure. But why I'm listing less items and strategically what I'm doing here is in my last video. So my sell-through rate is down almost 1%. If you scroll down to this chart, you can see again, sell-through rate is the dotted line, a steady decline in sell-through rate. Why is this bad? What does it mean? Sell-through rate is how many items you're selling out of how many items that you're listing, right? And so if you have a bad month where your sell-through rate is down, it's fine. But for me, you can see it was a steady decline for the past 2 years. My sell-through rate has gone from 11%, so we're gonna look here, 11% to currently I'm down at about 4%, a steady decline, 9% decrease. And what this is meaning is I am still listing items and they're not selling at the same amount of rate. This is a cause for failure in a business. This is going to make you broke. If you're continuing to spend the same amount of money and you're selling less items, you're going to run out of money, all right? Which is part of what goes into what I'm talking about in my last video, strategically listing less items so I don't run out of money, right? That's kind of where we're sitting at in October. It's not great, friends. It's awful, to be completely honest. Let's scroll back up here. You can see, like I said, we're at the end of October. I'm filming this on the 25th. So I still have, another weekend and a couple days after that to make it up. But as of right now, last year I sold 369 items. This year I'm at 135 so far. Last year, this time I was at... Gross revenue, I'm sitting at about $4,000 currently. Gross revenue last year, I was at $10,000, right? So what is the big indicators? What are the drivers behind this? Let's scroll down and look at Poshmark and eBay. Those are the two places that I sell on. I've kind of tried other places and I have videos on it, but I've tried other places, and Poshmark and eBay are it for me. So eBay currently, like I said, this is comparing all of October from last year to this year. I still have almost a week left, but I mean a week. I'm not going to double my income in a week, especially at the end of the month when people have less money. So I'm about halfway there in eBay. So definitely eBay's taking a hit for me, but Poshmark is the main hit for me for sure. eBay is definitely down, but Poshmark I'm at $700 roughly currently, and last year I did $2,100. And then you can see I was messing around with some Poshmark lives. You can see here I did about $500 in Poshmark lives as well. That's not happening at all. So Poshmark altogether, I was at about $2,500. Now I'm at about $700. Not the purpose of the video, but I know a lot of people are interested in lives. So you can see here my profit, or my average sale price for Poshmark Lives was about $13, and this was selling stuff that I had purchased from pallets. Most of it was new with tags, so we were talking about $10. I was paying for cost of goods times 20% fee. I do the math, and I think I averaged on all the Poshmark Lives, I averaged about $2 an item, which is why I no longer do them. But that's where we're sitting at. Let's go ahead and take a look at my top gross revenue brands. Things are still selling. They're not selling nearly as high, and they're not selling nearly as well as they once were, but I'm still holding on. So let's take a look. The chart that we're looking at is my top 20 gross revenue brands for the month of October. What does that mean? Of all the brands that I sell, these are the brands that are making me the most money, right? So we're looking at sell-through rate, how many of them are selling out of how many that I have for this brand, and then we're also looking at average sale price. So anything up here is telling me that it has a high sell-through rate. I'm selling of what I have for it. A lot of it is selling. And then if it's over here, it's a high average sale price. So this top quadrant is selling well and selling high. These are like my BOLO. You can see there's not a ton up there, but we'll go into it. I do want you to be mindful of these bigger bubbles. So the bigger the bubble, it means the more that I have. So likely what's happening with these ones with bigger bubbles is they've made this chart simply because I have a lot of them. It also means, like, let's take a look here. This is probably free people. Yep, free people. I have 59 of them, sell-through rate of 5%. So I'm selling a lot of these, but let's say 5% of 60 is 6 sold. So we're talking roughly, I still have roughly a little over 50 still for sale. That's 50 items that I purchased that are not selling. Right? And this is where looking at sell-through rate is important. And this is where looking at your numbers is important, because you would say, hey, I'm selling a lot of free people, but I also have a lot of free people that's not selling that I'm spending money on, right? And this is decreasing because I'm being more mindful of what free people I am selling. So let's take a look. The ones that are selling: Vince, 7 for All Mankind, Free People, Michael Kors, Cloth and Stone, Chico's, Victoria's Secret. I'm not going to be able to say this one. I don't know. Oh, I meant to highlight it. I can't say this one. Zenga. It's like a really high-end fashion. I think it's a men's that I sold for that. Talbot, Michael Kors, Rebecca Minkoff, Lulu's, AG, BCBG, Max Azaria, Dooney and Burke, Betsy and Johnson. Oh, this is a Hawaiian brand. I can't say it either. Kai, I don't know how to say that one. Juicy Couture, Cole Haan, and Crocs. What I want you to notice here, friends, is they're not all high-end designer type stuff. I'm more of a volume type seller, and this is intentional. One, because it's easier to find volume. It's easier to find mall brands that are selling, as well as people are kind of broke right now. So yes, the high-end people who have money don't usually get impacted by it, but people who don't have money are looking for sales, are looking for deals in that mall brand type realm, right? So ones I want to point out that are kind of in this high quadrant, and then we'll look at the actual ones. It's this Hawaiian brand. They're a pair of shoes. They're selling on average for $40. I only have 2 available, and I've sold 50% of them. 7 for All Mankind. I do have a couple of these to show you. I want you to be mindful of what's selling in this brand. Not all 7 for All Mankind are selling at an average sale price of $41 and selling at all. And then the other one, again, is this blazer. I mentioned it in my video 2 videos ago. I'll show you what actually sold from this. It is a men's blazer, high end. I mean, the blazer new probably costs hundreds of dollars, and it sold for 55. This has a high sell through, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Cloth and stone. So it's not selling super high. You know, we're talking average sale price of about $20. Sell through though is 50%, right? So this is the volume game for me. Well, it's not selling super high. If I'm selling half of what I have in a month, that's pretty legit. Especially because my average sell through rate right now is 4%. So that's huge. Talbots too, friends. I never picked up Talbots before, but I started purchasing from a sorcerer. It reminds me of like a wizard. But I started purchasing from them, and they started sending me Talbots, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this out. And it's actually proving to be okay. Now, I only have 7 available, super picky about what they buy. I can't possibly share everything from this, but you can check out my Poshmark store, my eBay store, and see my recent solds, and that'll show you kind of what's selling from these brands. Vince is up there. Crocs, Betsy Johnson, those are the ones I really wanted to talk about. Michael Kors is my high average sale price one, along with Rebecca Minkoff, which is a purse that I mentioned 2 videos ago. So not showing it today. Let's look at Free People. Free People, this is eBay, $42.50, friends. This is what I want you to be mindful of. It did not sell for $42.50. That is what it was listed at. If someone sends me an offer and I accept it, it keeps that price. So as you're going through and listing items, as you're going through and deciding, hey, someone sent me this offer, comps are this, I did not sell it for $42. I think I sold it for $20 or $25, possibly $30. But this is not always the price that it sold at. If they accept an offer from a buyer, then it keeps that price and not the other price. Same with the Michael Kors. These sold for $40 actually, not the $51. Again, Michael Kors, friends, best offer. It says here, best offer accepted at least. This sold for $10. So not all Michael Kors is created equally. Boots are always going to sell higher. Like I said, my average sale price is higher simply because that's just where we're at right now. Boots, sweaters, jackets, all of that. Betsy Johnson, something I wanted to mention here, not all Betsy Johnson is going to sell the same. Sometimes you can find one of the like super rare. I had a Trolls cupcake purse that sold pretty high because it was like rare and highly sought after, I think. What I want you to notice here that's selling still pretty on brand is 90s Y2K vintage, right? That's what's selling right around homecoming time. That makes sense. Cloth and stone, friends, it's not selling super high, but like I mentioned, my sell-through rate for it is pretty high. What I'm noticing with cloth and stone, and I think I have another one in here, maybe not, but it's more this kind of style. That's like that jamboree, or no, that's not the right word. I can't think of the word, the cloth that it is, but it's more like that flowy button down kind of cloth and stone. Here's a Free People tunic top, sold for $25. What's interesting, friends, so I'm accepting most offers right now. Quick story time about this top. So I woke up one morning, over the course of a week, this person was like putting a bunch of Free People and Madewell in a Poshmark bundle. So I kind of just let him do it because, you know, this happens sometimes. And by the weekend, I went ahead and sent him an offer. There was like 12 or 13 of the items in there. Sent them an offer for like 70 or like 30-ish% off. And they never responded. And then a couple of days later, they took some things out and put some other things in, this top being one of them, and sent me an offer for 30%. Right? So it was like a $500 bundle, and I think they sent me like a $150 offer, which I take most offers. But like sometimes it's a little ridiculous. Anyway, this item was in there. I got an offer for it from someone else, and I went ahead and took that offer, and the person who purchased the bundle, or the person who offered me the bundle, did not accept my offer and has not come back for it. So we'll see. Let me know, would you guys have accepted that offer? 7 for All Mankind. So a couple things I want you to note here. These are new with tags. They are a size 33, so the bigger sizes are selling better. They are brand new with tags. They are boot cut. I'm noticing boot cut flared. That's what's selling right now. Free straight skinny jeans are definitely on the way out. People will still buy them. There's still people that are committed. I have friends that are like, skinny jeans for life, I'm not going to stop. So you'll sell them because they're not going to be able to get them in stores anymore. But this is definitely kind of where the trends are going. Boot cut, flared, wide-legged, straight-legged. Oh, here, there is another anthro. So kind of that free-flowing type of shirt. Again, another pair of 7 for All Mankind Dojo Flare. So I do want to note, these used to sell super fast and super high. They're still selling. I had these for a couple of months. They're still selling, but not nearly as fast and high as they used to. Free People, this is just a Free People skirt, nothing crazy about it. And then here are some Vince, a cashmere pullover sweater. I had it listed for $70. I'm pretty sure I took an offer for, that's the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure I took an offer for like $30 or $40 on it. Vince, here's a silk long sleeve, right? We're talking silk, Vince. This was probably hundreds of dollars new, and I think I sold it for $20. These are a pair of Vince shorts, men's. Like I said, I'm dabbling a little bit in men's, but they sold, I took an offer for $10. So things are selling, not quite like they used to, but I am hanging on there. So do make sure, I'll link the video up here again for you. Do make sure to check out my last video on what I'm doing to stay in this and how I'm continuing to sell things even though I'm not listing new items. And then go ahead and, or YouTube thinks you'd like this, and make sure to subscribe to follow my journey and learn how to make money reselling.